Wednesday, February 25th, 2026. General Hospital Recap. The day in Port Charles begins deceptively calm. Gio lounges at Emma and Anna's apartment, shirtless, casual, almost serene, as he tends to fizz. The afternoon sun spills across the room, highlighting a quiet domesticity that feels almost too peaceful for a city brimming with danger. Gio plans to fly to California tomorrow, leaving behind the chaos, but that plan shatters the moment the door swings open. Emma steps inside, and the weight of grief and exhaustion is etched on her face. Gio senses it immediately. Without hesitation, he pulls her into a protective embrace, holding her as her shoulders slump and her tears finally spill. The two eventually settle onto the couch, the silence heavy, almost sacred. I had to tell my whole family about Grandma and Mom. She took it really hard, Emma begins, her voice trembling. Her hands shake as she recounts the trip to France, where even the simplest wish to see Anna was denied. They said it could agitate her, set back her progress, she whispers, guilt and frustration mingling in her tone. The trip makes her realize just how much her mother needs her, and the thought of moving back to Berkeley has been pressing on her heart. Gio listens intently, every word sinking deep. When he tells her he'd understand, that he'd move anywhere to be with her, she feels the truth of his love settle around her like a warm blanket. Her mother insists she return to Port Charles, and Emma admits, voice catching, that all she wants more than anything is to be with him. Gio gently kisses her hand, his eyes soft but intense. I was actually going to fly out tomorrow, just to see you, he admits. I love you. And in that moment, Emma's dam of emotions breaks. Tears streak her face as she whispers, almost breathlessly, I'm desperately in love with you. Time seems to stop. Distance, fear, grief, nothing can touch them here. Across town, another kind of connection blooms at the Brown Dog. Molly meets Cody, her manuscript clutched in his hands. Christina had given it to him, and he's read it cover to cover. His eyes light up as he praises her work. I loved it. I couldn't put it down. You're so talented, he tells her, sincere and unguarded. Molly feels a thrill of recognition. Cody sees what she's been hiding, the brilliance and courage it took to write and share the story. He knows she held back from publishing to protect him and insists it would be a shame if the world didn't get to experience it. They dive into her book, exploring the subtle symbolism, the intricate details, the emotional layers. Cody surprises her with a deep insight into the story's meaning, revealing a thoughtful, attentive side she hadn't fully seen. He even mentions that he's reading Pride and Prejudice for a book club, another window into the depth of his mind and heart. And as laughter and quiet admiration intertwine, a spark reignites between them, promising something more. Meanwhile, tension simmers in Carly's attic. She confides in Valentine about a complication that could derail everything. Lucas knows too much about Sidwell's plans, and Marco knows everything Lucas knows. Lucas has become fiercely protective, warning Carly to stay far from Sidwell and Windermere. The danger to her brother is real, immediate. Carly senses that Lucas is holding back, but Valentine reassures her. Their plan stays in motion even if Lucas must act alone. Saving Joss is the priority, and they are willing to risk everything to see it through. At General Hospital, Dante seeks counsel from Liz, hoping for clarity amidst the chaos. He wants answers about Michael and Willow's interactions, but Liz has little to offer. The mystery of who shot Drew continues to haunt the Quatermains, threatening careers and relationships alike. You can't fix everything, Liz tells him softly, her eyes steady. You just do your best and hope it's good enough. Dante nods, the weight of truth settling over him. Some questions may never be answered, some wounds may never fully heal, but that doesn't mean he stops trying. The tension continues when Ava arrives at Lucas's place. He warned her to stay away from Sidwell, but she's fearless. Lucas admits Carly's warnings were valid. Trust is fragile, but his concern runs deeper. He doesn't want Ava hurt. I love you, Ava. I don't want you hurt, he says, vulnerability cutting through his usual bravado. Ava, confident and unflinching, meets his gaze. "I've dealt with dangerous men before. The risk is worth it," she insists, leaving Lucas torn between relief and worry. At the Quartermain mansion, Brooklyn confronts Chase with a raw honesty born of love. She refuses to bring a child into a home where his obsession with proving Michael's guilt has shifted his focus dangerously. Chase argues passionately that justice must be served, that Michael's legacy cannot protect him. But Brooklyn sees the change in him. "You're sounding less like a cop and more like a vigilante," she warns. Fear and love intertwined. Chase pauses, absorbing her words, realizing how far he's strayed. He softens, his priorities realigning. "The most important thing is our family," he admits, voice low but resolute. "Nothing will stop us from adopting, I give you my word." For now, a fragile peace settles over them, a chance to rebuild, to love, to focus on the family they want to create. Meanwhile, at the harbor master's cabin, Britt and Jason face immediate danger. Cullum is closing in, and the stakes are clear. A prototype, potentially a revolutionary energy source, potentially a weapon, is at risk. Sidwell and Cullum are ruthless, and failure isn't an option. Jason reassures her, voice steady, "If Lucas can't get the meds, we'll find another way. We're in this together." They embrace, a moment of trust and promise amid the storm. They will not abandon each other. Not now, not ever. Back at the Brown Dog, the sparks between Molly and Cody intensify. After their conversation, Cody mentions the book club, a subtle nod to the world waiting for her work. As he turns to leave, Molly runs after him. They collide in a kiss, urgent, soft, full of possibility. Their connection lingers as they part, leaving Port Charles behind, if only in spirit. Meanwhile, Gio and Emma retreat to the sanctuary of her bedroom. The room glows with the soft light of a bedside lamp. Every touch, every whispered word, every shared breath carries the weight of longing, relief, and a love that has survived distance, grief, and fear. It's a moment suspended in time, a declaration, a surrender, a new beginning. Outside, the world rages, but inside, there is only them. Back in Carly's attic, the stakes remain high. Valentine reminds her to save Joss, they must bring down Brennan and Sidwell. Carly steels herself, trusting Lucas to make the right choices while preparing to warn him if necessary. It's a careful balance of trust, secrecy, and survival. Dante, meanwhile, reflects on Liz's wisdom. Not every truth can or should be uncovered. He carries the weight quietly, the responsibility tempered by acceptance. At the Quartermain mansion, Chase and Brooklyn cling to hope. Their conversation leaves them with a fragile sense of peace and a commitment to prioritize family over vengeance. Port Charles exhales for now. Lovers reunite, friendships are tested, families confront impossible choices, secrets and dangers lurk, reminders that happiness here is fleeting and hard-won. By nightfall, hearts are laid bare, love has been declared. Promises have been made, choices, sometimes impossible, loom ahead. For Gio and Emma, Cody and Molly, Lucas and Ava, Britt and Jason, and even Chase and Brooklyn, it is a quiet reckoning, a moment to breathe before the storm returns.